Right now, Texas is facing an unprecedented invasion. Deadly creatures lurk in every home, sea monsters with tentacles longer than skyscrapers, pythons so large they can swallow entire deer families, and viral insects ravaging communities. These aren't just made-up stories, they're spreading faster than anyone can control. Doctors are unprepared, ecosystems are collapsing, and Texans are under siege without even realizing it. Here are the 15 enemies Texas must destroy before it's too late. They call it the silent killer because victims don't know they're infected until their hearts start failing. Chagas disease, caused by parasites spread by kissing bugs, has infected over 300,000 people in Texas, and most have no idea they're carrying a ticking time bomb in their bloodstream. Kissing bugs, attracted to carbon dioxide from breathing, bite victims' faces while they sleep. They defecate near the wound, and when victims scratch, they rub parasite-laden feces into their bloodstream. It sounds like a horror movie, but it's happening in Texas bedrooms every single night. Over 50% of kissing bugs in Texas carry Chagas parasites. The disease progresses in stages. First comes mild flu symptoms that victims dismiss as a cold. Then nothing for years, even decades, while parasites silently destroy heart muscle. Finally, sudden heart failure that kills 30,000 people annually across the Americas. Texas blood banks now screen for Chagas after discovering infected donors. Hospitals report increasing cases of Chagas-related heart failure. Yet most doctors don't test for it because they think it's a tropical disease. This ignorance is deadly. Pregnant mothers pass it to babies. Blood transfusions spread it between patients. Organ transplants transfer it to recipients. What makes this invasion especially terrifying is that kissing bugs are expanding their range. Climate change has made more of Texas suitable habitat. They're moving from rural areas into cities, infesting homes, apartments, even hospitals. Dog kennels report massive infestations. Veterinarians find infected pets weekly. The invasion is accelerating. Every summer, Texas beaches become minefields. Portuguese man-o'-war, with tentacles stretching 165 feet, wash ashore by the thousands. They're floating colonies of specialized organisms working together as super predators, and they're invading Texas waters in record numbers. Each tentacle contains millions of venomous cells called nematocysts that fire on contact. The pain is immediate and excruciating. Victims describe it as being branded with hot metal while electrocuted. The welts last for weeks, leaving permanent scars. But pain is just the beginning. Venom causes fever, shock, heart problems, and breathing difficulty. Multiple stings can be fatal. In 2018, Galveston closed beaches after 10,000 man-o'-war washed ashore in a single week. Padre Island reported over 500 stings in one day. Emergency rooms overflow during invasions. Tourists cancel vacations. Local economies lose millions. Yet the invasions keep getting worse because ocean warming drives more colonies into Texas waters. The truly disturbing fact is that man-o'-war remain dangerous even when dead. Tentacles separated from the colony stay venomous for weeks. Beachgoers get stung by tentacles buried in sand or wrapped around seaweed. Dogs investigating washed-up colonies suffer fatal stings. Children building sandcastles hit hidden tentacles and require immediate hospitalization. Texas has no defense against these invasions. Man-o'-war drift with currents and winds, appearing without warning. Lifeguards can only react after colonies arrive. The ocean that draws millions to Texas has become a danger zone. In 2019, hunters took down a 13-foot Burmese python near Houston. The snake contained 77 eggs. If those had hatched, Texas would face the same nightmare consuming Florida, where pythons have eliminated 99% of native mammals. Burmese pythons are 6 meters long and weigh 200 pounds. They are ambush predators, taking down their prey by constricting until blood flow to the brain stops. They swallow victims whole, from rabbits to alligators to adult deer. In Florida, they've eaten endangered species to near extinction. Wood storks, key deer, even Florida panthers fall prey to these monsters. Texas provides perfect python habitat. Warm temperatures allow year-round activity. Abundant prey supports massive populations. Vast wilderness offers unlimited hiding spots. Scientists estimate that if pythons establish breeding populations, they'll spread across the entire southern half of Texas within 20 years. The ecological collapse would be irreversible. The scariest part is how they spread. People buy baby pythons as pets, not realizing they grow massive and aggressive. When snakes become unmanageable, owners release them into the wild. It only takes one pregnant female to start an invasion. Texas has already caught over 400 release or escaped pythons. Each capture represents a potential colony prevented. Detection is nearly impossible. Pythons are ambush specialists that remain motionless for weeks. They hunt at night using heat-sensing organs that detect prey in total darkness. Radio tracking studies show pythons travel miles underground through gopher tortoise burrows. By the time populations are discovered, they've usually spread beyond control. Our video warning. Florida must destroy these 7 animals at all cost. You must see this documentary. We'll help you better understand the invasive species that are attacking Florida. They arrived in Texas in 1990, crossing the Mexican border near Hidalgo. Within 5 years, Africanized honeybees had colonized the entire state. They're aggressive swarms that attack without organs and chase victims for half a mile. When threatened, European bees might send dozens of defenders. Killer bees send thousands. They respond to vibrations from lawnmowers, construction equipment, even footsteps. Once triggered, they remain aggressive for hours, attacking anything that moves. Victims suffer hundreds, sometimes thousands of stings. Texas averages 2 to 3 killer bee deaths annually, more than all other states combined. Victims include children playing in yards, elderly people gardening, workers operating equipment. In 2018, a landscape worker in Austin suffered over 600 organs and barely survived. A Waco man died after disturbing a colony while mowing. Killer bees colonize everywhere. Storm drains, abandoned buildings, old tires, water meter boxes, any cavity becomes a potential hive. Cities conduct regular sweeps, removing hundreds of colonies annually. But new swarms arrive faster than old ones are destroyed. Houston removed over 700 colonies in 2019 alone. The invasion is accelerating, not slowing. The agricultural impact threatens Texas's $40 billion farming industry. Killer bees are poor pollinators, visiting fewer flowers than European bees. They are also aggressive toward bees, invading European hives and destroying managed colonies. Beekeepers lose millions of dollars when killer bees take over their operations. Some have abandoned beekeeping entirely. Another danger is their long-term existence. They've completely replaced European bees across southern Texas. They're genetically dominant, turning any hybrid colony aggressive within generations. Scientists have given up on eradication, and killer bees are here forever. Help us continue telling these untold stories. Like, share, and support our journey. The Mississippi River has become an aquatic battlefield. Asian carp, weighing up to 100 pounds, have conquered the waterway from Louisiana to Illinois. Now they're invading Texas rivers, and when they arrive in full force, the state's $15 billion fishing industry will collapse. These aren't ordinary fish. Silver carp launch themselves 10 feet out of water when boats pass, breaking jaws, shattering noses, knocking people unconscious. Boaters wear helmets and armor for protection. Water skiing has become too dangerous in infested areas. A 100-pound fish hitting at 30 miles per hour can take a human life. Asian carp reproduce at impossible rates. Females release 2 million eggs per year. They grow too large for native predators to eat. They consume 40% of their body weight daily, devouring all the plankton that native fish need to survive. In Illinois waters, where carp have established, native fish populations have dropped 90%. Commercial fishing has ended. Ecosystems have collapsed. Texas rivers face immediate threat. Carp have reached the Red River on the Oklahoma border. They're in the Arkansas's river system. Heavy rains and flooding push them deeper into Texas watersheds every year. Once they reach the Trinity or Brazos rivers, stopping them becomes impossible. They'll spread through the entire state within a decade. The economic devastation will be total. Sport fishing generates $8 billion annually for Texas. Recreational boating adds another $6 billion. When carp invade, both industries die. Property values along rivers crash. Marina businesses close. Tournaments cancel. Communities that depend on water recreation face economic collapse. Nutria are water rats that were brought to the United States for their fur in the 1930s. An adult water rat can weigh up to 20 pounds, with distinctive orange teeth. When the industry collapsed, thousands escaped into the wild. Now they're unstoppable. A female can give birth to up to 13 pups per litter, with 3 litters per year. Do the math. That's 39 new beavers from just one mother each year. An adult beaver can consume a huge amount of vegetation every day, about 25% of its body weight. But their devastation is not just in their appetites. Nutrias burrow into levees, dams, and riverbanks, creating networks of tunnels that cause catastrophic collapses. During Hurricane Katrina, nutria damage to levees contributed to flooding that killed people. What the water rat carries is equally dangerous. Nutrias spread tuberculosis, septicemia, and a parasite called liver fluke that infects both livestock and humans. When they contaminate water sources, entire communities are at risk. Native to Eastern Europe, zebra mussels arrived in Texas in 2009, and since then, they have invaded more than 30 lakes. Each female releases up to 1 million eggs per year. Within months, they form carpets so thick that beaches become unusable, and their razor-sharp shells slicing through skin like broken glass. The economic damage is staggering. Power plants spend millions clearing mussels from cooling systems. Water treatment facilities shut down when intake pipes become completely blocked. Marina owners watch their docks collapse under the weight of mussel colonies. Lake Texoma alone suffers $22 million in annual damage. But the ecological impact is even more devastating. A single zebra mussel filters 1 liter of water daily, removing all the microscopic food that native fish need to survive. Fish populations crash. Birds that depend on those fish disappear. Entire lake ecosystems collapse into sterile, lifeless water. The scariest part is how they spread. Zebra mussels can survive out of water for up to 30 days. A single contaminated boat moving between lakes becomes a biological weapon. Texas now requires mandatory inspections at boat ramps, but enforcement can't catch everyone. Originally from Asia, snakeheads were illegally imported as food fish and aquarium pets. When owners realized these monsters grew 3 feet long and ate everything, they dumped them in local waters. Big mistake. Snakeheads have no natural predators in America and reproduce at terrifying rates. Females lay up to 100,000 eggs per year. Their hunting method is pure nightmare fuel. Snakeheads are ambush predators with teeth like needles. They lurk motionless until prey passes, then strike with lightning speed. They devour fish, frogs, birds, and even small mammals. In Maryland, where they've established populations, native fish species have declined by 90% in infested waters. But here's what should really terrify Texans. Snakeheads are moving south. They've been caught in Arkansas, just miles from the Texas border. When they arrive, and they will arrive, they'll find perfect conditions. Warm weather means year-round breeding. Abundant prey means unlimited food. Texas waters will become killing fields. The state has made it illegal to possess, sell, or release snakeheads. Anyone catching one must kill it immediately and report it to authorities. There's no catch and release. There's no mercy. These fish represent an existential threat to Texas aquatic ecosystems. Feral hogs are the descendants of domestic pigs crossed with Russian wild boars, creating super predators weighing up to 400 pounds with razor-sharp tusks, incredible intelligence, and a complete lack of fear of humans. They reproduce explosively. Sows produce 2 litters of up to 12 piglets each year. The population can triple in just 15 months. With over 3 million roaming Texas, they cause over $400 million in crop damage across Texas annually. They root through fields like biological rototillers, destroying entire harvests overnight. Ranchers find calves attacked and farmers wake up to crops completely destroyed after months of growing. Not only that, disease transmission makes them walking bioweapons. Feral hogs carry over 30 diseases, including swine brucellosis, pseudorabies, and leptospirosis. These jump to livestock, pets, and humans through direct contact or contaminated water. In 2019, a Texas woman died from bacterial infection after a feral hog attack. Texas has declared total war on feral hogs. There's no bag limit, no closed season, and hunters can use helicopters, night vision, even explosives. The state pays professional trappers. Counties offer bounties. Yet the population keeps growing because hogs are smart. They learn to avoid traps, recognize hunters, and adapt their behavior to survive. They arrived in Mobile, Alabama in the 1930s, hidden in South American cargo ships. Now red imported fire ants infest over 300 million acres across Texas, and they're spreading 50 miles further every year. Fire ants don't just sting once. They latch onto skin with powerful mandibles, then inject venom repeatedly in a circular pattern. Each sting creates a pustule that burns for hours and itches for weeks. But for the 3% of Americans allergic to their venom, a single attack can trigger anaphylactic shock and death within minutes. In fact, hospitals in Texas treat more than 14,000 serious fire ant attacks each year. The economic toll is mind-boggling. Fire ants cause $6 billion in damage across the southern United States yearly. They destroy electrical equipment by chewing through insulation. They've shorted out traffic lights, air conditioners, and airport runway lights. Houston's George Bush Airport spent over $100,000 after fire ants disabled crucial landing systems. Agricultural destruction runs even deeper. Fire ants attack ground nesting birds, wiping out entire quail populations. They target newborn cattle, injuring calves by stinging them. They damage farming equipment, infest hay bales, and make fields unharvestable. Some Texas ranchers have abandoned land completely because fire ant infestations make it unusable. The truly terrifying fact is their intelligence. Fire ants form living rafts during floods, floating colonies that survive for weeks. They've developed resistance to pesticides. They're learning to avoid bait traps. Scientists estimate complete eradication would cost over $5 billion, and even then, success isn't guaranteed. The Asian tiger mosquito arrived in Houston in 1985, hiding in shipments of used tires from Japan. Within 5 years, they'd spread across the entire state. Asian tiger mosquitoes are incredibly aggressive, biting multiple victims in rapid succession and spreading diseases faster than any native species. They carry over 30 diseases including dengue fever, chikungunya, Zika virus, and West Nile virus. In 2012, Dallas suffered a West Nile outbreak that infected over 400 people and killed 19. And the Asian tiger mosquito is the vector. But what makes Asian tiger mosquito especially dangerous is their breeding adaptability. Native mosquitoes need standing water like ponds or swamps. Asian tiger mosquito breed in bottle caps, pet dishes, any tiny water source. A single soda can create hundreds of mosquitoes. They've turned urban Texas into perfect breeding habitat. Every backyard is a potential mosquito factory. Control efforts are failing. Asian tiger mosquito have developed resistance to common pesticides. They breed too quickly for spraying to keep up. A single female lays 200 eggs that hatch in just 4 days during summer. By the time authorities respond to complaints, thousands of new mosquitoes have already emerged. Houston discovered them in 2018. Snails the size of rats, weighing 2 pounds, with shells 8 inches long. Native to East Africa, these snails devour over 500 types of plants. They consume entire gardens overnight, eat through stucco walls for calcium, and even chew through car tires. In Florida, where they've established populations, eradication efforts have cost over $24 million and counting. A single snail lives 9 years and produces 1,200 eggs annually. The real terror is what they carry. Giant African snails host rat lungworm, a parasite that causes meningitis in humans. Simply touching their slime trail can transmit the disease. These snails also carry plant diseases that could destroy Texas agriculture. They spread bacterial wilt, fungal infections, and viruses that kill crops. That's why discovery of even one snail triggers immediate emergency response. Water hyacinth grows faster than almost any plant on Earth. A single plant produces 5,000 seeds that remain viable for 20 years. 10 plants can cover an acre of water in just 8 months. They form mats 3 feet thick that block all sunlight, killing everything beneath. Fish die from oxygen depletion. Native plants disappear completely. The economic impact crushes communities. Boat ramps become unusable. Fishing industries collapse. Property values plummet when lakes become swamps. Water treatment plants spend millions clearing intake pipes. Hydroelectric dams lose capacity when hyacinth blocks turbines. Lake Conroe alone spends $2 million annually on removal, but the plants always return. Mosquito populations explode in hyacinth mats. The still water beneath provides perfect breeding habitat for disease carriers. West Nile virus cases spike near infested waters. The plants also harbor venomous snakes, creating hidden danger zones. Swimming becomes impossible. Recreation dies. Lakes that once supported entire economies become worthless. Chemical control creates more problems. Herbicides that kill hyacinth also poison fish and contaminate drinking water. Mechanical removal is temporary. Miss just one fragment, and the entire infestation returns within weeks. Some lakes have given up completely, accepting that water hyacinth has won. Texas planted millions as ornamental shade trees. Now Chinese tallow has conquered over 600,000 acres of Texas coastal prairie, creating toxic forests where nothing else survives. Every part of the Chinese tallow contains toxins. Leaves release chemicals that alter soil chemistry, preventing native plants from growing. The sap pea causes severe skin reactions. Birds that eat the seeds suffer organ damage. Cattle that graze near tallows develop fatal digestive problems. These trees are biological weapons disguised as landscaping. The transformation happens frighteningly fast. Tallows grow 20 feet in 5 years, producing 100,000 seeds annually. Seeds spread through water, creating dense forests along rivers and bayous. Within a decade, diverse prairie becomes tallow monoculture. The famous Texas coastal prairie, home to hundreds of species, gets replaced by toxic wasteland supporting almost no native life. Hurricane damage multiplies near tallow forests. These shallow-rooted trees topple easily, becoming projectiles that destroy homes and kill people. After Hurricane Ike, fallen tallows caused over $50 million in additional damage. They block evacuation routes, tear down power lines, and create massive debris fields that take months to clear. Removal costs are astronomical. Cutting tallows makes them grow back stronger, sprouting dozens of new trunks from stumps. Herbicides require multiple applications over years. Complete removal from 1 acre costs over $3,000. Texas has spent millions on eradication with minimal success. Some scientists believe the coastal prairie is lost forever, transformed into an alien landscape that will never recover. In 1890, a Shakespeare fanatic released 60 European starlings in New York's Central Park. Today, 200 million starlings plague North America, with Texas suffering the worst infestations. Starlings travel in murmurations of millions, creating dark clouds that blot out the sun. When these swarms descend on farms, devastation follows. They consume $20 million of Texas grain annually. They destroy fruit crops, contaminate livestock feed, and spread diseases through massive amounts of droppings. A single roost can deposit tons of toxic feces daily. The aviation threat is deadly. In 1960, a starling flock brought down a passenger plane in Boston, killing 62 people. Dallas-Fort Worth Airport spends millions on bird control, but starlings keep coming. They're attracted to airports' open spaces and nearby food sources. Native bird genocide is their worst impact. Starlings steal nesting cavities from woodpeckers, bluebirds, and purple martins. They destroy eggs, attack chicks, and drive away parent birds. Purple martin populations have crashed 90% in areas with heavy starling infestations. Texas's beautiful native songbirds are being systematically replaced by aggressive foreign invaders. Disease transmission makes them public health threats. Starlings carry histoplasmosis, a fungal disease that attacks human lungs. They spread Salmonella, E. coli, and West Nile virus. Their roosts create toxic zones where fungal spores from droppings cause respiratory problems. Schools have closed when starling roosts made air quality dangerous for children. Control is virtually impossible. Starlings are too smart for most traps. They adapt to deterrence within days. Poisoning risks having a dangerous impact on native bird species. Shooting makes temporary dents in populations that recover within weeks. Texas has essentially surrendered, accepting that starlings are permanent conquerors. Have you encountered any of these invaders in your area? Share your experiences in the comments below and subscribe for more videos about the hidden environmental battles happening across America.